Clippers laid a monstrosity of a game. They lost by 51 to the Dallas Mavericks. And one of the key things that, people are going to say is, oh, Kawhi Leonard didn't play. They just came off of 2 good games, so they shouldn't be worried about this game. This game just reiterates the same thing about the Los Angeles Clippers. This game simply reiterates the same thing about the Los Angeles Clippers. They have no identity, and on top of that, they fail to understand the momentum of things. You came off with 2 good games. You beat the Lakers opening night. You beat the Denver Nuggets. Then you go to Dallas. No Kristaps Porzingis. Of course, you don't have any Kawhi. You lay a dud, lose by 51. This is one of the worst losses in NBA history, where they shot 12% from three-point range. Paul George was 0 for 6 from 3. He had 4 turnovers. I mean, it was just a monstrosity of a game. And PG basically took the onus on himself, and he said, it's my fault, I take full responsibility. But here's the thing. Last year, it was Doc's fault. And I told you guys prior to this, Doc Rivers was not the problem for the Los Angeles Clippers. It was the players. But in order for the Clippers to move forward from blowing a 3-1 lead, they had to fire the coach to make an example, somebody to be a scapegoat. So Doc takes the hit. Now it's time for the players to step up. And you lose the 3rd game of the season by 50-1. One of the biggest losses in NBA history. I know it's still early in the season, but it's only 75 games this time. So some of the games mean a little bit more now. So especially it's a conference game. So all that being said, you lose the game by that large of a margin, and then everybody's trying to pass the buck or take blame here and there. Guys, it's all of your fault. Doc is not there anymore to take the blame for you guys. And that's what I said last on season when Doc Rivers got fired. I said, look, Doc is going to take the hit because he doesn't want you to think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard aren't good players. But now, losing this game the way they did it, and Paul George is supposed to be the marquee guy, stepping in for Kawhi Leonard. All that being said, now we're looking at Paul George like, dog, you're no good. They were down by 50 in the first half, 77-27. That's no energy, no nothing. That's a lack of everything. And for Paul George, this is not the same Paul George we saw in Indiana. He was on all the smoke saying he didn't get a chance to train with his guys. Oh, Doc Rivers was trying to use me more like Ray Allen. He said, I'm back with my trainer. I'm on your ass. Doc Rivers isn't there, so I'm on your ass now. I'm not going to be running around screens. It's the same thing. No identity, no purpose. Guys fail to take accountability. And this is the same Paul George, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, and I got to speak on this because I think this is what's really going on with Paul George. It is a situation at home. Something with his fiance, something with the way that Dame Lillard and other players look at Paul George. And that's not about the game. The fact that he is in an intimate relationship, committed relationship with a stripper he tried to have an abortion for over $1 million, who refused and still kept the baby. Now he's in like a relationship. I think there's something going on there that, of course we can't touch on it that much, but it's playing into the way that he plays, his psyche, and everything like that. I know Paul George ain't there, but Kristaps wasn't there for the Dallas Mavericks. You don't see them losing by 51. Come on, man. This was bad. This looks bad on the organization. This just reminds us of the 3-1 deficit that they blew, even when they played the Lakers, and the Lakers made a run at them, and they came back and took the lead and stuff like that. So this is just the same old Clippers. There's no accountability. There's no leadership. Paul George is not a leader. Kawhi Leonard is not a leader. Tyronn Lue is the biggest leader on and off the court. And for me, that's a problem because you need to have at least one player who stands up, even if he's not the best player on the team. He's a bench guy. Hey, look, guys, get your shit together. Let's go. Let's get it together. And the fact that they don't have not one guy, because Pat Beverly, he's a rah-rah guy. He don't lead nobody in that locker room. Nobody believes what he says. They're just like, this is a dog. He's got a lot of bark, no bite. That's what they look at Pat Beverly as. So that loss, oh yeah, we're going to put this behind us, da-da-da-da-da.